earlier this week, it was announced that Georgia and Clemson would be opening the 2021 season in Charlotte. This news naturally excited a lot of fans on both sides, given that Clemson and Georgia have lived in the top 5 of the past couple of seasons. Although Clemson and Georgia aren't exactly in the same neighborhood, as Clemson's national championships essentially give it like a pool and a basketball court, compared to Georgia's still very nice but ultimately empty trophy case. And a big reason why Clemson has been able to sort of elevate itself above Georgia is because of this guy. If you've been living under a rock, then you don't know that this is Trevor Lawrence. And if you're a Georgia fan, or at least a well-versed Georgia fan, you know that like a lot of other great quarterbacks, he's come from the state of Georgia. Lawrence is from Cartersville, Georgia, and was a record-setting quarterback in high school. Georgia recruited him very seriously. Of course, Clemson got there first, much like it did with Deshaun Watson. Lawrence, in December of 2016, ended up committing to the Tigers and sticking with that commitment. Despite being the number 1 overall player in the 2018 recruiting class, Lawrence didn't start right away at Clemson. But Dabo Swinney ultimately made the move to make him the starter, unseating Kelly Bryant, who had led the Tigers to the college football playoff the year before. That move proved to be a genius stroke, as Clemson went on to win the national title, with Lawrence essentially taking a blowtorch to the Alabama secondary as the Tigers put up 44 points in a 44-16 curb stomping. Clemson figures to open the 2020 season as the number 1 ranked team in the country, largely because it has Lawrence still at quarterback. He also projects to be the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft, if you can even wrap your mind around that to this point. So what does he all have to do with this Georgia-Clemson game that's set to take place in 2021? Well, if he's not playing, it's actually a lot more of an interesting game. Lawrence is clearly already an established name and probably the best quarterback in the country. Should he decide to come back for his senior season, which wouldn't be a shock given as Clemson has seen guys like Christian Wilkins and Travis Etienne forego the NFL draft and choose to come back to Clemson for their senior seasons, it would be a big boost to the Tigers. They'd probably open the 2021 season against Georgia as the number 1 team in the country. Well, let's say Lawrence decides to go pro after his junior season, which would make a lot of sense because you're not going to turn down the kind of money you get for being a number 1 overall pick. That probably means that Georgia and Clemson would both be opening that season with new starters at quarterback. Georgia right now is likely to start Jamie Newman for the 2020 season, but he only has 1 season of eligibility. If Newman and Lawrence are both gone, there's a chance that 2021 opener is pitting 2 5-star quarterbacks against each other. On the Georgia side, there's Brock Vandagriff. He's a 5-star quarterback in the 2021 class and Georgia's highest-ranked commitment at this point in time. He's going to enroll early, which means he'll be able to go through drills next spring and possibly have a chance to replace Newman as the starter. It's no easy task being a Game 1 starter as a freshman quarterback, as guys like Lawrence and Watson didn't even do that. But Georgia's best chance at a national title in 2021 might come with Vandagriff at the quarterback position, and the Bulldogs likely won't play a bigger game that season than against Clemson. As for the Clemson side, they'll likely turn to 5-star quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. He signed as a member of the 2020 class and seemed content to wait behind Lawrence for a year. He's got a rocket arm and was wanted by multiple schools across the country, including Georgia. Of course, before penciling in Vandagriff and Uiagalelei as the starters, it's worth keeping in mind that this will be a tough matchup for both players. Clemson and Georgia have routinely produced some of the best defenses in the country in recent seasons. So long as Kirby Smart and Brent Venables are both still at Georgia and Clemson, that doesn't look like it's going to change. The two sides have also recruited incredibly well, as Georgia signed the number 1 overall class in the 2020 rankings, and Clemson signed the number 3 class. That's why both these programs are potentially able to start 5-star quarterbacks. The Georgia-Clemson matchup in 2021 figures to be one of the more talked about contests of that season. It might go on to be the most hyped season opener of all time, just given where these two teams have lived the past couple of seasons. But if Trevor Lawrence is still the starting quarterback for Clemson in that 2021 game, the game might be a little less exciting. So much is known about Lawrence and how truly great he is. And Georgia's probably going to be an underdog if Lawrence is suiting up for Clemson that day. But if both teams are breaking in new starters, I think that somehow even adds more intrigue to this already exciting game. For Dog Nation, I'm Connor Riley.
For more Dog Nation videos, check out youtube.com/DogNation.